Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Vegan World 2026 Moonshot podcast. And today, this is right after Martin Luther King Day. The celebration that ended yesterday was so incredible through the uh, convergence that happened over the weekend. John Raymer and Summerjoy Raymer and Brother Phil Lane, they organized something incredible. And during that convergence, we talked about how are we going to heal our Mother Earth. And today we are joined by Tabay and Sahel, his mother Sahel, Tabay Atkins and his mother Sahel, and they are doing it right here. It's an example of what we all need to be doing together. So let me introduce you to them. Let me add the stream. Welcome, Tabay and Sahel. It's good to see you.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, your story is so inspiring. But I know that you had to go through something. You had to go through a trauma in your lives to get to this point. So can you start off telling us how you did this? How did this all happen?
Well, it all happened kind of in an accident, but not really an accident because it all worked out for the best. When I was 6 years old, my mom was diagnosed with stage 3 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer, and she had to do intensive chemotherapy and treatments, and it really broke her down physically and emotionally. She couldn't even walk on her own. And as she was, once she beat cancer and she was 2 weeks cancer free, she was still weak from the chemotherapy and all the treatments. But she got into yoga for the first time. We knew nothing about yoga. We were just introduced by a friend. And she was doing yoga for 2 months, 2.5, 3 months. And I was watching how it was helping her heal from the effects of chemotherapy and cancer. And at the end of the 2.5 months, she was fully healed. She could walk on her own again. She was back to her healthy self, but even better. And I was almost 7 years old at the time. I told her that I wanted to teach yoga so I could help heal other people the way yoga helped heal her. And since then, we've been traveling the country, getting specialty yoga certificates. I have, I think, 9 or 10 right now. She has 18.
18.
Yes.
Yeah, we knew it helped me, so we just wanted to continue and to just grow as much as possible. I went from not being able to even walk on my own after getting my strength back and just a different outlook on life.
Right.
And to me, I thought, gosh, why didn't I have yoga or know about yoga when I was a kid? Like, how come?
Right.
It's not really out there so much for kids. So I was on a mission to then go and become certified in also kids yoga. And then I opened up the first kids yoga studio in Orange County, and I started teaching it to children. And then, I didn't know at the time, but there's so many different specialty trainings that you could do to help. And there's, we've been doing that, and we've been helping. And the latest one that we got was yoga for cancer, which was it was really special to be able to do that training with today, and to be able to really help specifically
for cancer patients and survivors. Not just giving them like a restorative lay down here for the class, but having them, because they still want to move and do yoga. So they're still getting to move and do yoga, getting all the benefits. It's not super power class. It's not super rest and restorative class, but it's perfect. It's a really good, specifically for this group class.
Yeah. And that was really nice that I got to do that training with Tibet, and we do classes weekly for cancer survivors and patients, and to bring that practice to them, it's really special.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have this when I had cancer. I didn't even know about it. So there's so many people that were in that hospital room next to me that were going through what I was going through, weak and sad, and and so yoga just helped me get that strength back, and that was the first part before we became vegan. It
Well,
just
because
all,
just first learning about yoga for the first time, that
yeah,
introduced and opened the doors to so many other things that we didn't even know about.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was saying, is an accident, but not really an accident. Also,
everything happens for a
something
reason.
bad happened. She had to go through cancer, but it introduced us to a whole new, healthier way of living.
Because we probably wouldn't have changed our lifestyle. And at that time, we thought we were living great, healthy, and having some organic here and there, and um, going to the gym. And so what we thought was a healthy lifestyle, a clean lifestyle, a mindful lifestyle, it really wasn't. So, when people tell us, I'm so sorry you went through that, it's like, yeah, it was, not the best experience, but I overcame it, and I am stronger and wiser and more mindful. And so I'm really grateful.
Just looking at the parallels between what you went through, and what the Earth is going through now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's eerie. It's
Right?
incredible how,
Yeah.
it's very similar, right? So basically, uh, the Earth is going through your cancer phase right now,
Yeah.
and we as humans are being called to help heal, just like Tabe was.
Right.
Yeah.
And your story tells us that it can be done.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So before this happened, I mean, when you got the cancer, what were you thinking? I mean, you thought that you were leading a healthy life, right? Until
I
then.
I did. Well, I was misdiagnosed for almost a year. So
Hmm.
I kept having cold-like symptoms, and I kept going to the doctor, and because I was so young and I was so active, and I had never done drugs, I wasn't a drinker. He just thought, this is just a cold, you're fine. And I just kept getting weaker and weaker. And fast forward about 8 months, and then I just got very, very weak. And everybody said, it can't be cancer because you're too healthy. And what I thought, I mean, I used to go to the gym, 4 or 5 days a week. And, I thought by having chickens, fish, turkey meat, I thought, I'm so healthy. Look at all this healthy food I'm eating. And I just couldn't believe it, that this had happened to me. And when I was finally diagnosed, I mean, I was within hours of not making it, because when my mom just got me to the emergency room, I wasn't even able to drink a capful of water. Like, I was choking. And
These are tumors were on her neck.
yeah, the tumors had grown so big that they were now the size of softballs. So the ER doctor, once they did the biopsy, they said that they had gotten so big, and that's why I couldn't breathe, and I couldn't even, have a sip of water. I couldn't speak. And so they said, yeah, you wouldn't have made it if I didn't come in by morning. So then I just didn't really understand what cancer was. I was very confused, and I lost all my hair, my eyelashes, my eyebrows. I got very weak, and I had a lot, actually. I had a blood clot. Then I got staph. I had blood transfusion after blood transfusion. So in addition to having that cancer, I had everything else too on top of that. It was not fun. I was very scared, and
Hmm.
being a single mom, to me, all my thought was about, oh my gosh, I need to be here for today, and we need each other, and he was all I was thinking about. So to be able to get through that, and to survive everything that I had gone through was a miracle, and really a gift of what we are living, and how we are living right now, because that was not healthy. But I hear a lot of people talking about how healthy they are when we try to convince them to go vegan. You know,
Hmm.
uh, and it was us. It was how I thought before too, because I had
Well, it's how a lot of people think.
That's right. We just
Right.
have this misconception, and we're programmed all of our life to think that you need to have meat to get big and strong or to grow. You need to have milk, and that's obviously not the case.
Right, right. I mean, we are lied to that, in the system, because that's what marketing really big, right? When you're trying to sell your products,
Right.
and yeah, and so we have created this. Sorry.
I said they did a really good job with their marketing.
Well, yeah. Now the truth is coming out, right? And
Yeah.
now the truth is coming out, and then people are seeing. Once people see that they've been lied to,
Yes.
change happens much quicker, right? So we
Also, some people who do know about the benefits of veganism and the costs of having meat and dairy and eggs, sometimes knowing the information but closing your ears and eyes, not wanting to hear it.
Yeah, we meet a lot of people that just they're complaining about so many things in their life, and a lot of it takes people for it to be more about them than the planet and the animals. And so we try to convince them, for them to just think, well, you're having all these symptoms and you're having all these different feelings. So if you change to a plant-based diet, this will help you. But then they want to stop. They want to interrupt us. No. It's too hard. It's like, you haven't even heard us. How do you know it's hard? It's actually very easy right now to do it. I mean, there's so many
Options at the stores right now.
Yeah.
So many easy ways to cook without meat and dairy and eggs.
Yeah,
Right.
but we don't stop. I mean, Tebay has last year, I think it was, he did a 30-day vegan challenge, and he had 350 people, I think, that had never even considered going vegan do the challenge, and most of them actually stayed on a vegan, which was really that was amazing.
Yeah, because I was sharing free vegan recipes so I could show people how easy and how simple it is to make vegan food.
Okay.
How tasty it can still be.
Right.
So when did you make the connection between veganism and good health? How did that happen?
Well, we heard about vegan a few times, people telling us that we should go vegan, and we said, okay, I think this is actually a good, we should go vegan. And that was in the beginning of August 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And we said, okay, we're going to go vegan, but we didn't go vegan. We just said we're going to, not really knowing when we're going to commit to it.
Because I still wasn't sure. I said, okay, I need to do more research, because I'm hearing people who are vegan saying this is what you guys should do for health, right? It's the hell because you had cancer. And then I hear my mom and my dad and my family saying, don't do it. You need to, you're going to take away those nutrients from Tebay, and you're going to be such a bad mom. And so I was really struggling because, my number one priority was to make sure Tebay's healthy. And so I was really contemplating, like, am I making the right decision? Is this the right thing to do? And Tebay would complain about, when he would eat chicken, I think, and fish, he would say, oh, my stomach hurts, or, he didn't really like it.
And I was having, actually, around that time, before going vegan, I was having lots of stomach pain.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until
we were in New York.
We were in New York filming for the Harry Connick Jr. show. And on our flight back, I had a cheese platter and a chicken pasta. And then it felt like a rock sitting in my stomach. And that's when I knew, okay, I'm going to change the weight. He said that's it,
yeah. He's like, Mom, this is the last thing I'm going to have. I'm going vegan, whether you're joining me or not. And so the next morning we watched the documentary, What the Hell? Okay. And that was it for me. As soon as I saw that documentary, I said, okay, done. And we never looked back.
And that's what made me know all the benefits. Instead of saying we should go vegan because I think it's the right thing to do.
We didn't really, when anyone asked us why, we had no reason why. We said, well, because so-and-so told us to. And so when we watched that documentary, we really knew we understood more. We're like, oh my God, it just clicked.
Mhm.
And even though we started at that time after watching that documentary, we continued to grow and continued to evolve because I still wasn't. I thought, okay, this is going to help us be healthy.
Right. We were vegan for our health at the beginning.
Mhm.
That's all we knew about. And then we started learning more and more, like, wow, this really helps the animals. This really helps the
Right.
planet. Saving so much water, saving lots of carbon emissions.
Yeah, and that was I think it was like about 6 or 7 months later that I made the next connection to me, which was the biggest one was, I couldn't believe after we watched this documentary, we had everyone in the family watch it, and they just still were not they weren't going vegan, and I just didn't understand. And I kept on saying every time they came over, why are you guys not going vegan? I don't understand. Yet I was at the store buying leather. And so I didn't understand, and then I walked out of the store one time and I just stopped myself and I had this aha moment and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm no different than them because I may not be eating it, but I'm buying these products.
Right.
And that was the biggest connection for me. And then literally everything came into place for me. And I really understood the entire picture because I wasn't, because it was just like with the food, you're programmed to think that this is what you should have. Same with the clothes. It wasn't like I never thought about it because it was just what I bought.
Right.
And then it just clicked and I thought, oh my gosh, this is leather. What am I thinking? And that was it. So
You're so awesome. I mean, you have this open heart, right? You're basically open to something new coming into you.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I think that's one of the first things we need to do is to help people open their hearts
right.
Yes. And their minds.
and their minds. So how do you do that?
Well, usually just sharing the benefits of it, not just health benefits, but how much it makes sense for the animals, the planet, your health. Um, Most of the time, people say, "Oh yeah, that makes sense," and they say, "Okay, I think I'll try to go vegan." Sometimes sometimes they do try, sometimes they don't. But
Mhm.
just sharing everything that we've learned, and we've been vegan for over 3 years now, a few
Mhm.
months, yeah, 3 years and a few months. So all of that we've learned in that time from being vegan, not knowing anything about veganism to now, we share all the knowledge we've learned over that time to people so that they know all the things that it's taken us 3.5 years to know, and it moves them further along on their vegan path.
Yeah, I think it actually helps a lot of people I noticed more because we weren't always on this path. So we
Right.
know we can compare, like, hey, we were where you guys were, if not even worse. Um, so for us to be able to make that transition, and before we went vegan, we were also those vegans that were like, we're never going to be vegan. And then once we became vegan, it was like, how could I have ever not been?
Right.
And also with Tebe, I feel because he's so, he's young, he's very inspiring, and people love to listen to him and hear him. And especially, I mean, I was going to say the kids too, but adults and kids alike. But he always says something, and he doesn't put it down anyone's throat. He's not very forceful, but the way he speaks to people about it, it really makes them want to listen because he
Mhm.
has this very calm way of putting out facts without making you think that's what he's doing.
And not
And I hear
judging
that.
people for their choice of lifestyle and diet, just telling them this is a better way to eat, this is a better way to live.
In every way. And we will spend hours and hours with people, on the phone, through messages that they're just like, I don't understand, and then we'll just try to convince them. And also, we have I think for the easiest and the best way is food, because
Mhm.
people are so concerned about food
They
and their
think that
taste buds.
they think being vegan you just eat carrots and salad and vegetables.
Right. And the thing is, because we are both I don't want to toot our own horn, but we're really good chefs. So we know what we're doing in the kitchen, and we've had years of experience. I feel like being able to show people that, hey, you don't have to miss out on anything. So you want burgers, you like hot dogs, you like steak, you like shrimp. We can share with you. We can show you how to, if you don't want to buy it, because they have all these options at the market now, we can share these recipes with you that you probably everything that you have at home, and then you can still have that taste. If that is what your concern is, if you are so concerned about your taste buds and not losing or missing out on the foods that you ate, we have all those recipes there for you. And
we can show them, because most of the time it is because they don't want to miss out on flavors, or they think it's too hard to be vegan. But we show them how simple it is to make vegan food, and also how flavorful it is, how tasty it is.
Yeah, I mean, my dad, he's like, don't ask me to be vegan. I'm almost 80 years old. This is my life. I'm not going to change. And he's like, if I come over, don't make me vegan food. And we make it, and he thinks he's having non-vegan food.
He thought that we made him a special non-vegan
meal
for him.
For every meal, sushi, a burger, calamari. I mean, things that are, he just couldn't believe it. And so we're like, yeah, that's great, right? and to be able to share this, and then also we can do all these recipes and all this food, no oil, no sugar, so really whole foods,
plant-based.
Wow.
Like we've taken out, actually last year, we took out added oils and added sugars from our diet.
Just natural sweetener.
Yep. And from natural foods like fruits and
we need a date factory. And it tastes. We were a little bit concerned. I was like, oh gosh, what are we gonna do about cake now? And I'm Persian, so half Persian here, and we love Persians.
Persian food.
Oil is
everything.
Is life, and
oil is everything revolves around oil. And
and there's this crispy rice that my mom's like, oh well, too bad you guys are going to be missing out on that. And so we made it, and it actually we were able to do it with without it.
Yeah,
without the
using oil.
Wow.
Yeah.
You can make crispy rice without oil?
Yes. And it was honestly because when we would eat it before, it was great.
It tastes amazing.
We had oil on our fingers.
And same thing with all other foods like that. It tastes good, but then it has an aftertaste. You feel extra full, all the oil.
And you feel that
greasy.
Heaviness.
And with this, you get all the flavors and
no guilt.
Yeah.
Like it's so funny because Tibet doesn't have to say, Mom, can I have another piece of cake? Because we know it's like the best.
Everything we have nothing we have is unhealthy now. All the things we have actually has health benefits.
That's right.
So all the sweets, since there's no added sugar, no oil, it all is with natural, healthy foods. So we could have as much sweets as we want.
Yeah.
You mean, can you make kebab also without?
Yes.
Wow.
I gotta send you some pictures. You wouldn't believe it. I mean, we made it, and it's people don't understand. It's mostly people think it's the oil, right? And it's the meat, but it's not. It's whatever. I mean, you've got to just get creative with different spices.
Mm-hmm.
And
also for people who really like the flavor of meat, it's not the meat that's giving you the flavor. It's all the spices and everything on it.
All the seasoning. You're seasoning it because you're not going to just have something without the seasoning. And we make our own meat. We make our own. We literally don't. We haven't had anything processed for a couple of years now.
We don't have any processed or prepackaged foods.
We make our own bread. We make our own cheese. We make our own butter. We make everything ourselves. No oil.
Yes.
No
added sugar.
No added sugar either. And it's amazing.
And a lot of people say, well, you need to have oil. It's good for you. That's true. But buying the oil like they use for cooking and everything, it's very processed, very refined. So that's why having oil is good for you. If you have it from high-fat whole foods like avocados, olives, everything. Yeah. Coconut.
Yeah.
You've opened up a whole new of thought for me. Thank you so much, because
Of course.
you can create, the same thing that people are eating, but whole foods,
Yeah.
plant-based.
Not only is it helping the planet, but also yourself.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so we don't tell people at the beginning, we want to not overwhelm
Yeah,
them.
we don't want to tell them don't have oil, don't have sugar.
Tried.
But we want them to make a transition like we did, because this is it's a bit overwhelming for people. So we suggest them to go just eat vegan food. You don't need to cut out oil and sugar and all those things. Just let them first be vegan for a while, and then tell them if you want, you should take out oil from your diet or sugar. And that way, that if they want to, they can. We'll tell them how it's healthier, and they can make that transition too.
On Tibet's website, he has over 130 videos, and it's some of them are yoga, some of them are cooking videos, and some people that have signed up for his site, they'll message us saying, "I just could not believe that it would be possible to make, this food vegan, and when I tried your recipe, it was life-changing." And that was all they needed. They just needed a few good recipes, some people, and to know that once you get a few down, you know that everything else is possible.
Right.
And then people say, "I don't have time," but then Tibet tells them, "Well, how about when you get sick? Then what do you say? You say something like,
they say, "Well, being vegan, getting vegan food is expensive. It takes a lot of time." But I tell them that it may cost a little bit more to get vegan food, but it's preventing you from paying a lot when you get sick.
That's true. Your time, your money. I mean,
it's keeping you healthy so that you don't have to worry about getting sick from having unhealthy food, and it saves you a lot of money on hospital bills.
That's true.
So,
yeah.
Have you written a recipe book?
We're in the process of it, actually. Yeah. 2 books.
2 books. Okay. Wonderful. I mean, I'm really looking forward to that, because we are working with the Native American community here. And, they are sort of used to certain tastes now, and so we really need to create foods that have the same taste so they don't see the difference, but it's healthy, right? Because a lot of elders are dying out because they have these diabetes or something else that's going on, and then they get COVID-19 and that kills them, so it's a tragedy what's going on, in the Native American community. And
well, that's why it's so important to change your diet and way of living so that you don't have to have the foods you eat harm you, and then make it easier for other things to come and get you.
All of it just goes together. Like I was saying, I made all these different connections, and then I have that feeling, that sensitivity for everything, our planet so much, the animals, our health. And then when I see somebody now, walking a dog and eating a hot dog, I get confused, I get sad, I get a little upset, and I just stop. And Sabi actually has to stop me sometimes, says, "Mom, you're staring." And I don't see that happening, but I'm just like, how do people not put all this connection together? Like, why can't we just be selfless and just, I hear so many people wanting to change the world for the better. And they say, "What can we do?" And
you have to start with yourself.
And then we give them a little tip, and they're like, no, not that. I mean a different way. So it's not the way they really want to, but that's not how we're going to help heal the planet. Also, and it needs all of us.
A lot of people need to make the realization that all animals are not made for human consumption. And people see animals as, this is a pet, this is going to be in my house, and this is going to be my food. And just some animals are for eating, some animals are for enjoyment.
Yeah, and there's actually one boy that was telling his mom that, oh, I want to go vegan, 5 years old. And then the mom, instead of, I mean, it wasn't, you would think that, oh, it's hard, my kids are used to this food. The kid is saying, I want to go vegan, not really understanding it, but
Mm-hmm.
obviously something clicked in him that he wanted to say that at 5 years old. And the mom said, well, then you can't have bacon. Like, why would you shut your kid down and say, in other words, she made him think that, okay, well, if I go vegan, then I can't have the foods that I want to eat. And Tebey said, yes, of course you can. And then he sent like 4 or 5 pictures of different bacon that we make. And then we got no response. But,
you know, with kids, they understand it a lot more, because the adults, they've been for a lot longer having this idea that meat is good for you, dairy is good for you, eggs are good for you. You have to have this to be healthy. But kids have been on this planet for a shorter amount of time, so they are more open to change. So they're I've never had a problem with a kid not wanting to go vegan. The only problem is their parents.
Right.
Trying to make excuses for them not to be vegan.
But we know that also it helps. It helps, like when people say, "Oh, I have no energy," or I get upset very easily. It's like, well, how do you expect to eat death and fear and
Mm-hmm.
Everything that comes along with that came with that animal? How do you expect to live a happy, healthy life? And same with everything going on our planet. Like, to me, I feel like, well, how can we all, I mean, people are so angry, and you see that on the news all the time, and there's so many different things going on. How can we expect to not have that kind of life in this kind of society and world when we're eating death? We're eating, I mean, because if you start to eat clean and healthy, I thought I was nice before. I feel like I'm just floating, like, like with roses and in this beautiful garden, just because there's nothing toxic or sad or bad in my body. So before, if I would get angry or upset, I don't have that anymore. I have that ability to stop and change that.
Right.
So it helps a lot more than diabetes. And as I was saying, when people come up to me and say I'm upset or I'm angry, it's like, well, take this out of your diet and see. Everything they come to me with, I say plant-based diet. It'll help.
Right. I also noticed that you are, it took a few years for you to go from the yoga to veganism, right? So what happened in that interim period?
Well, we were just learning about yoga and teaching yoga because we thought this is a really good thing to do, healing people, yoga, and not realizing the connection of you also have to eat healthy, and ahimsa too. Just the main of all the yamas and niyamas is ahimsa, nonviolence. So it's not just to yourself and other people, but it's to all beings. And it's just being vegan and being a yogi. It makes sense because yoga and veganism go hand in hand. Yoga is about being healthier, about wellness, about nonviolence, and connection.
Connection. Yeah.
And
yoga really means union.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's tied to veganism. Just having both of those is such an amazing thing to do because you're practicing yoga, healing yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and veganism, eating foods that are going to be nourishing your body instead of harming your body. And it's nonviolence to yourself because you're not harming yourself with unhealthy foods. It's nonviolence to the animals because you're not eating them. It's nonviolence to the planet because you're not harming the planet by supporting the industries that harm the planet. And it's nonviolence to everyone around you because you're stopping, you're not supporting these industries that cause diseases.
Yeah. It took a while because at first we were so focused on solely this helped me heal from cancer. And then it took for me watching What the Hell to put that connection together. Because I was, wow, it's not just yoga practice, it's what we put in our bodies too. And then Tibet, I think, made that connection with Ahimsa very soon, because he was like, they don't really talk about that too much, about the Ahimsa and everything he just said right now about the animal and the planet. So when you're hearing it, you're just thinking, don't hurt your neighbor, and we're like, of course, we don't already, so we're good. We're yogis.
Oh, wait, even further, don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, and we thought like that was it. But then
it doesn't stop there.
Yeah. And actually one of the interviews that he did, he was on the cover of the Yoga Journal magazine. One of the questions was, what do you wish more yogis would realize?
Right.
And my answer was, I wish more yogis would realize the connection of yoga and veganism, and ahimsa, meaning not just harming yourself and others, but the animals, and for yogis to adopt a plant-based diet, vegan lifestyle. And we were told by someone, not from the Yoga Journal, but someone else, that we shouldn't say that. I might turn a lot of yogis off.
Yeah, he might get, they might be angry and not follow him. And he said,
but this is my honest answer. They asked what I wish more yogis would realize. I'm not going to give an answer that might make people happy, just what I feel and what the answer really is to me.
And they love the answer, actually.
When the person from Yoga Journal was like
doing the interview,
she loved that answer, and she was saying that her and her daughter are trying to go vegan, and
so it inspired them by hearing his answer, because she was surprised, and actually out of all the questions that they asked that were in the magazine, that was the one she focused on, whereas we were told you're going to make a big mistake by putting that out there, because no one has gone on Yoga Journal magazine and spoke about veganism. So you're going to be the first one. And he's like, but they're asking me a question, and I'm only going to speak the truth. And it was actually really wonderful that he did that, because he wasn't shaming anybody. He was just kind of putting it out there. This is what I wish. I wish they would put that connection together. And he got a lot of messages, actually very positive, saying, wow, I didn't make that connection, but reading this, now I am.
And a lot of vegan yogis were saying, thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, I have goosebumps. That's right. Because they hadn't heard that before.
Yeah. No, thank you so much for saying that, because living your truth, that's first step in yoga, that's connection.
Yeah, and not saying what might be
people want to hear,
and also what might make people like you more. Just saying what you feel is true and honest.
Right. I mean, you touched on two of the things that I feel needs to change in the civilization. The transformation that's happening now is about first consider animals as someone who's there on the planet with us, and not there for us to exploit. Right? Animals are not here for us to exploit. And the second is, as you said, looking for happiness within you, rather than looking for happiness with stuff outside.
Yeah.
And these are two important switches that need to happen in the current culture. And you're exemplifying it,
Yeah. Doing the best I can.
No, I think just your presence is enough for people to say, what are you doing? You must be doing something right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So how often do you have your 30-day vegan classes, 30-day vegan challenge?
I did that once last year just to see how it was going. This is the first time I ever tried it.
It was during the pandemic, I think.
During the beginning of the pandemic. And
he did a yoga challenge.
I did a yoga challenge, vegan challenge. I didn't do it like as a planned thing, a scheduled thing, just as let's try this month doing vegan. And I might not be doing a vegan challenge. But I do always challenge people to go vegan.
And we do classes. So like we do privates every week. But in addition to that, we thought, why don't we offer a group Zoom cooking class, because everyone that wants to do it maybe that maybe doesn't want to do it private. So I said, let's open it up to doing like a group. We did an 8-week yoga class for kids. And then we are also doing an 8-week cooking course, which actually filled up. We sold out in like the first 3 days. So we're definitely going to do that again, making it where people can it's easy for people to come and join.
And I think it's important that I do lots of cooking classes.
Yeah.
I have, of course, on my website, all the videos of vegan recipes so that people have so many sources to see how simple veganism is, how you can be vegan, not have to work so hard to try to figure out how to put these ingredients together and make it taste good, and just being healthy and showing them how easy it is.
Right.
Picking out any flavors.
Well, I would be happy to come and do a guest lecture for any of your classes if you are interested.
Thank you.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Okay. Yeah, it's nice because when we're doing our cooking classes, it's not just this is how you make this. One, during the class, people are in awe of the ingredients. They're like, wait, we're making this with these ingredients, and they're shocked.
Right.
And then we go into everything that we do about talking and trying to share.
Sharing not only the benefits of being vegan, but also the benefits of each ingredient that we're putting in the food. Like a lot of the spices or different ingredients, they have so many health benefits. So we share that, and also the benefits for yourself being vegan, the benefits for the animals, and the benefits for the planet. These are so many.
So do you have classes for kids so that they can become future tabais?
Yes. Actually, he's also putting together
a kids mentorship program.
Okay, good.
And all the information is going to be on his website, tobayatkins.com. So it will have everything of upcoming classes, upcoming programs, courses, and how to sign up for different classes.
On my website, tobayatkins.com, it has the video series with the yoga and cooking videos. It has a tab where you can book for online classes like private yoga classes, group yoga classes, private and group cooking classes.
He does birthday parties. It's really fun, actually.
And what else? It has information like bios and testimonials, photos, everything in one website.
And he did all of it himself.
He
built the whole website himself.
All the editing, uploading, everything.
Are you using WordPress or?
No, I use.
I didn't get that.
I use Wix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be nice because we have a lot of families and parents with kids that want to be around Tibet and in any way, and they're like, we want you to influence our kids, and we really want them. They look up to you so much, and so we thought this would be such a beautiful program to put together and just make it bigger and bigger, so that
just teaching the younger generation how to find your calling, and all the things that you can do to help the planet, because
kids are our future.
Yeah, and just if you might think that it's sharing what you believe in might be insignificant, but let's say millions of people do this insignificant thing of sharing what they believe in. It's not that insignificant anymore. Right.
You remind me so much of what my granddaughter has done for me. She's been teaching me, pretty much from the day she was born.
Wow.
Yeah, I realized that I need to deprogram myself, and the best way to do that is to just do whatever she wants. And it worked,
Right?
Right.
That's probably the hardest part for you, is to just change that part, right? And to just stop what you're used to listen.
Right. Listen. Yeah, I know. It helped a lot, really. Because we don't realize how much we are programmed.
Right.
I mean,
And you realize it's hard to open your mind that you have been lied to for so long, and that all the things that you thought to be true are not.
right.
That could be hard for some people.
So, what kind of schooling are you doing? Are you doing homeschooling or are you going to school?
Well, I was homeschooled, but I actually graduated high school last year. The year before
early.
Last year, 3.5 years early.
He was 14 when he
Yeah,
graduated.
I was 14. I got all A's and A pluses and a 4.0 GPA.
And you're homeschooled?
Yeah.
He started being homeschooled actually
The second semester of middle school,
yeah,
sixth grade.
Okay.
Sixth grade.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So it worked out great. And, once he graduated, he decided that this is something he wants to be his actual career full time.
And I wanted to finish high school as soon as I could so that I can focus fully on sharing yoga, sharing veganism, and just not have to worry about doing my schoolwork too.
Another thing he does is pretty tricky, but in a good way. We have neighbors who are, they don't want to have anything to do with veganism, and sometimes they don't want to listen to us. So what we would do is when we make some food, Tibet will make a plate and take it to them and just say, oh, here, we have some extra if you guys would like to try it. And then they come back and they're like, what was that? We want more. And we're like, oh, really? This is vegan. And then it kind of opens up. Now they want to hear.
And also,
now
actually,
they want to listen.
Very clever. Whenever we were cooking food, and my grandma and grandpa are coming over, when they walked in, they said, I could smell your cooking down the street.
Lot, yeah.
And all of our neighbors
could smell our food.
Were you making something? Because I could smell it from our house.
Yeah, the mailman, everybody would come and just, it was just something they actually look forward to. Like, what is Tibet and Sahel making today? What kind of smells are we going to smell today?
Yes.
Do you leave your windows open so that they can smell it?
Usually, we would have our door open and the screen closed. And everyone would smell our food, and the garage open too.
Yes. Yeah, and some people, one of our neighbors actually told us one time because, they know we're vegan, and we would take something over, but they said, oh, I thought you guys you're vegan. We're like, we are. We're like, well, we spelt bacon and eggs. We're like, yeah, we had bacon and eggs, and they were so confused. And they couldn't understand it because they smelt that bacon, they smelt the eggs, and I was like, yeah, but it was a plant-based breakfast, and they were like, really, and they were just kind of like scratching their head, like.
Because a lot of people don't make the connection of taking out foods, but still getting the flavor of those foods.
Yeah. They don't realize it's just the sulfur that gives you the egg smell, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I feel like you can start your own school. A school where you can teach kids from grade through grade, bring them up to help the planet, right? Because that's the schooling we need.
That really is, yeah.
And especially kids, we need to show them, we need to be the best influence we can, because kids, who they become is by what they're influenced by, who is around them, who they see. They're like a sponge for all that they hear and see and experience. So sharing with them positive things and how to heal the planet and the world it's going to help them continue doing that as they grow up.
That's right. And they lead by action and example, not just by what we say is right. They have to see that.
Right. It's really, it's our mother. That's what it's healing our mother. And she's calling for that right now.
Right.
Yeah.
We've been calling for it, but now it's getting louder and louder. Now we're hearing it.
Yes.
Now the fires are coming up to our door saying, "Hey, let me tell you
No.
something."
Listen to your mother.
She has put us in our room saying, go think about what you have done.
Yeah, she's grounded us.
She needs
That's right.
Oh.
That's a great story to tell. Anyway,
Yeah.
thank you all very, very much. Thank you both very, very much. It's
Of
been
course.
incredible. You opened up a lot of vistas. I'll be contacting you with more possibilities for collaboration. I'd love to invite you to come and talk at the Vegan World 2026 Convergence as well.
I'd
For
love
sure,
to.
would
Yeah,
love
thank
to.
you.
Okay.
Absolutely. And once this, COVID thing dies down, then, hopefully we can sit and have a beautiful meal together in
Yeah.
person.
And we'll make the crispy rice.
Oh, I'd love that. I love the cooked rice.
Kebab.
And the
Yes.
kebab. Yes, I love the kebab too.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, this is really nice. I just hope that every time we speak, every time we connect and we do this, people listen a little bit more and they
With
just,
an open mind and an open heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
it's
what they
getting easier. Yeah.
hearing. They need to keep hearing it. And I'm a little bit more vocal than Tebey because Tebey is like, Mom, it's okay. Don't judge. And I'm just like, how could you guys do this? And I just don't understand. And I get so sad and so upset. And he has more of the, like I said, the very gentle way he kind of goes in where I'm just like, shame on you.
Well, sometimes people need to hear it in a way that they're not being judged. That helps. Like if you say to someone, you're doing this wrong, why are you doing this? And you need to change right now. That might turn people off and make them close their mind and their ears a bit more. But if you share with them, say, you should try going vegan. It's going to be a lot healthier for you. Here are the facts, and sharing it in a non-judging way. It helps for people to realize it and listen. It's easier for people to listen with an open mind and an open heart if you're telling them in a way that's not judging them.
See, that's why we're such a good team. We balance each other out.
Right. I think some people.
Spice.
Yeah, we need both of you, really.
Yeah,
both
that's right.
sides.
People need that too.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, something to jolt them out, saying, "Hey, wait a minute! Don't be so complacent. There's something going on here."
Yeah. Especially if they're going to complain about so many things
and then not want to hear the answer.
Sometimes I just have to shake them a little bit, and be like, "Wake up!" And then I tell everyone, you have to watch these documentaries.
Right.
And then sometimes people will tell me, they're not vegan yet, and they're like, "Oh, have you seen this documentary?" And they'll say, "Yeah," and then I'll look at Tebey and I'll say, "And you're not vegan?" Without even really thinking about it. So I've learned to kind of just be like, "Oh, okay. Are you sure you watched that?"
I can help you with that. Actually, there is a doctor who figured out that people watch documentaries and they don't really watch it.
No,
but
actually,
we've
had a friend over once who he didn't want to watch it, so he just tried to take a nap during the documentary.
No, so then what he did was he told his patients, watch the documentary and fill up this questionnaire. I want to see your answers. That will help me understand why you're unhealthy. And
I do that too, but I say I'm going to test you to make sure you watched it.
Simple questionnaire. Okay? And he said all the answers are in the documentary. And so then people watch it more intently because they have to answer the questions, right?
Right.
And then they get it. They say, wait a minute, I've been fooled all along, right? So, because that's what you're trying to show them. You've been fooled all along. You've been lied to.
Right. I do the test thing, but I just, like I said, I add the little spice to it. And I said, I'm going to ask you questions to make sure you really watched it. Yeah. So, but anyways, yeah, good stuff.
Good stuff. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Of course.
We'll be in touch again.